The following video is presented by Car Gurus. Search over 5 million listings to find the right car for you at cargurus.com. A special Car Gurus link from me, Ryan Holman, is in the description and as the pinned comment for this video.
You're faster than a couple of guys in front of us, which is so freaking...
I know. Oh my god.
Is it bad?
No, don't worry about it. It's not too bad.
Just a clutch move.
I was so annoyed when that guy took me out. He tapped me and I was like, shoot, then I got it, and then like he stayed on me.
He has no hood now.
There you go.
I should have got around that other guy. Like seriously, every single time he comes around, I'm like, seriously, I thought I got him.
Looks like Toni Breidinger getting a little sideways over in turns 3 and 4. A little damage to the rear end of that number 55 car for Venerini Motorsports. Toni, one of 3 female drivers participating here this afternoon. And it looks like there was a little contact between a couple of drivers there. We'll see if we can look at this one here momentarily. Let's take a look at what happened over there in turns 3 and 4. There you see it. A couple of cars sideways, and Toni going to come out on the short end of the stick of that one. Looks like she got a little help there from the 08 car, Caleb Costner. Breidinger getting that car pointed in the right direction. She'll head on down to pit road and make some repairs as we get a good look at downtown Phoenix. About half an hour away from Phoenix Raceway here.
We got dumped by a lap car super early on in the race, which made us have to come in during green flag to make a pit stop. So we lost way too many laps to recover from. The spoiler was just completely crunched. We eventually lost our brakes and just struggled with the car the rest of the day. We still finished the race, but definitely not where we wanted to be. Third time's charm. I'll see you next year, Phoenix.
And welcome back to the Reese's 200. Really nice crowd out there. Indianapolis Raceway Park, as we're under caution for the second time this evening. And we just talked about the 42 of Christian Rose. Got a beat up fender. This is what happened to him.
Racing tight there. But Breidinger, and she got into him, and around he went. We saw before we went to break, she was faster than him, trying to figure out a way around. And there's one way to get the move made.
Yeah, there's the contact, unfortunately. Around goes Christian Rose.
Christian Rose was 12th at the moment of his spin, so he'll bring it down pit road. Try to fix some of that damage. He had damage on the bumper from earlier contact.
The initial start of the race, a couple cars got together.
Welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park, where we are under caution for the 5th time this evening. 2 cars involved. You see the 42 there of Christian Rose and the 25 of Toni Breidinger. Both appear to be okay. Toni tried to drive away, but substantial damage there. Let's see what happened.
Watch top of your screen. They're going to come in. It looks like Toni's trying to go under Dylan Feccio. Just gets loose there in the middle of the racetrack. And then Christian Rose came along. He actually hit the outside wall first and then made significant contact with Toni's. See, that's Toni in the wall. You see Greg Van Alst does a really nice job avoiding that.
Look up top when right there maybe gets on the brakes a little bit too hard.
Yeah, he was going to run into the back, I think, of the 35 of Greg Van Alst, and then absolutely could not see Toni Breidinger when he came off the wall and made significant contact with the left rear corner of her car.
Well, we talked about Christian Rose throwing out the first pitch of the Red Games on Monday. He was having a good run until he wasn't. He's standing by with Josh.
Yeah, and Christian Rose checked and released from the care center. What happened from your perspective there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we were struggling all race. We had just gotten way too tight and, just couldn't figure out the balance on my side on how to handle this place, and I just drove off in the corner, and next thing I knew, the 25s around, and we really had nowhere to go. So hit the wall and then hit her. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, I guess she just lost it right there, and then we had nowhere to go. So it's unfortunate. It's been our season, but I got to thank Bruce Cook and all the guys helping me come out here and do this, and West Virginia Tourism, and you know, we're trying to bring more and more people to the state, and our tourism numbers are the highest we've ever been. So thank them for being on board. But man, oh man, we need to catch a break this year. It's been that kind of year.
Thanks, Christian, and glad you're okay. Guys, we're going to check in now with the other driver involved in that crash, and that was Toni Breidinger. She's checked and released from the care center as well. Toni, from your perspective, what happened?
I honestly drove it in a little too deep, got into the left rear of whoever was in front of me. So it was a little bit of a mistake on my part, and then caught the wall, and then kind of got ran over after that. I mean, everyone's just kind of coming at speed at that point, but hopefully we can go back out. I want to try to save us a little bit in the championship points. So yeah, hopefully we're good to go to at least run on the track.
Thanks, Toni, and glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big hit. I'd be surprised if they can get that car back in the race. But you know, when you make a mistake like that, that's you know, you own up to it. That's a mature.
Yeah, that's all part of it. We've all done it.
Yeah, everybody's gonna, especially on entry to this tight little corners we talk about here at IRP. So a mistake on entry, she lived it, she owned it, and she'll learn from it and be better because of it.
You can see the ARCA officials are monitoring this repair. Obviously, they want to make sure this car is safe if it goes back on the racetrack.
Then Toni Breidinger, she said she wanted to get back out. Look at this.
Well, you can see how far that rear clip is bent down. That car will go to the frame shop as soon as this race is over. But the Venturini guys did a nice job getting that thing patched together. Got a deck lid on it, so she's got some sort of a spoiler, but I wouldn't count on a whole bunch of rear downforce.
Not much of a spoiler, just enough to satisfy the officials to say that it'll be safe. So she'll have a struggle having any speed in this car, obviously.
But again, she just wants to maintain, try to get those points. Every point counts. Right now shown 4th in the overall standings. Got Landon Lewis here, the 97.
Missed the shift again.
William Sawalich went into first gear on that first start. Now we have the caution out again. Toni Breidinger goes around.
You wonder if this is just really a chain reaction from the initial Sawalich missing a gear.
I definitely think it is. You know, you saw the top lane stack hard from the 18 missing the gear, and you know, Toni was just an unfortunate bystander in that one. And Frankie Muniz. Goodness.
And the farther back it goes after Sawalich, the harder it is to see. I mean, the guy right behind Sawalich sees it, but then back behind them, you don't see through those cars very well.
Yeah, you get to row 5 on back, and the stack is worse, and you're going faster by the time it stacks, right, because you're accelerating.
And then that's your view.
Yeah.
On board with Frankie Muniz, just documented. He finally got his first top 5 at Michigan, and it's just been downhill since. Here's the restart.
Yeah, you see Frankie into the back of Toni Breidinger. Nothing any of those drivers could do.
And, you know, I'm curious. They talked before the race, Frankie had radio problems. And I wonder if he didn't know they were checking up, if his spotter couldn't tell him. I'd be curious about that, if he heard anything.
Let's go on board with Frankie Muniz right here and see it from his perspective. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure he ever backed off before he ran in the back of her, but he didn't have a lot of time no matter what.
We just saw Frankie Muniz just frustrated, disgusted, just climbed from his car, walking through the garage.
Maybe some cars that don't have the raw speed that are kind of jammed in there in the center of the field.
And that group qualifying will bring that on. You may have some of the fastest cars here in practice, and they get in the wrong group and don't get a good qualifying effort, and they start at the back as you see Greg Van Alst leading that third line up towards the front.
I mean, that's a great effort. I mean, just to push from Gus Dean all the way up to Greg Van Alst, really recovered that third lane. Meanwhile, it's letting the bottom get away here. So it'll be interesting to see if this third lane stays or if it creates some handling issues in the middle of the pack. Because when you got cars 3 wide, side by side, exit at turn 4, you're going to have a lot of movement as they really put the squeeze on Toni Breidinger exiting the tri-oval.
Greg Van Alst making moves early.
Trouble already.
And we've got Toni Breidinger around the 25, and they're wrecking all over the place. Caution is out.
Well.
Yeah, SVG is in that as well.
Shane Van Gisbergen had to run this race to be able to race in the Xfinity race, so this will be interesting to see what the officials say.
I think Tanner Gray and the Gibbs number 18 was also in that.
Jeff Schofield in the 07 we see there.
Big damage to Amber Balkan.
Amber Balkan full-time this year once again. This is not how she wanted to start her season.
think that's Ed Pompa in the number 10 car for Andy Hillenberg.
It was getting really tight through the middle of that tri-oval. I wonder if there's some cars that just got squeezed. Obviously, Toni was stuck in the middle there, so
saw Chris right there.
We know at least 3 of the Venturini cars were involved in that incident.
Venturini has 5 full-time entries. Let's see exactly what happened.
That's the 25 of Toni right in the middle. Let's see if she gets squeezed.
So I think the 02 got a push there and wiggled down the racetrack, and then they just kind of squeezed and touched on corner entry to 1. Just really tough part of the corner. The car is really light, and obviously a small push when you're racing that close, you know, only a few inches door to door, generates some contact.
Yeah, and the majority of these cars involved, nothing they could do. There, Toni gets into the 97 of Jason Kitzmiller.
And everybody else is just checking up, trying to miss it. I mean, half
doing their best to try to miss it.
See the 28 on the right side of your screen spinning around. That's Shane Van Gisbergen.
Here's a Sioux Chief on board for Toni Breidinger.
Yeah, so when that push got delivered to the 55, I mean, Toni, you can see by the lines on the racetrack, she was holding her car dead straight. Just got a push. That 02 car came down the racetrack and shoved her into the inside lane, and then everyone else is involved.
Yeah, I mean, we're 2-3 laps into the race, and we're already pushing people sideways into each other. And
well, Toni Breidinger has been checked and released, and she's with Amanda.
And Jamie, we go back to earlier in the day. That excellent qualifying effort gave her a start on the second row here at Daytona, but she stands here and says, I am so annoyed. Talk about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice since the 55 is my teammate, but definitely is disappointing. It's so early on in the race, really unnecessary move. Even later in the race, that would have been a bad move. I mean, you're not clear, it's unfortunate he has a lack of respect for his teammates and other people on the track that work really hard to get here when his dad's just writing the check, so I think that just has to do with his lack of respect.
Those are some pretty bold words. I want to go to the collection of the day that you've had. You started in the trucks race today and now finishing up here in your own progression. Are there teaching moments here?
Yeah, I mean, we had a great day. Venture Motorsports brought me a fast car. Celsius was on board. It started off amazing. Great qualifying effort. Jake Finch, my teammate in the 20 car, did a great job in qualifying. We worked together. So yeah, just disappointing that the 55 had to just kind of ruin that for all of us.
Emotions high, Jamie.
Yes, no doubting how she's feeling right now. But I mean, that young lady, she's full time. She's thinking about points. She's not just here to jump in and go for a race win. And what a week she's had. She was up at Fashion Week, you guys, just on Tuesday. She was in a fashion show for Michael Kors. Then she flew down here, raced at New Smyrna, then came down over here to the racetrack and had practice and qualifying for ARCA. So a lot going on with that young woman. Gus Dean in the 55 will unofficially be the winner of this race, winning the 100th race for Venturini Motorsports, his 3rd career win in the ARCA Menards Series.
Search over 5 million listings to find the right car for you at CarGurus.com. A special Car Gurus link from me, Ryan Holman, is in the description and as the pinned comment for this video.